Welcome to One on One Live here on Netu TV. Once again, my name is Jonas Abedi Enim, and we will go through a few headlines in the newspapers whilst we wait for our guest for today. She is in the person of Frances Ewurabena Esiam from the Ghana Gas Production Company. I think she's been held in traffic, but whilst we wait for her, we go straight to some of the newspaper headlines. And here it says, bombshell, NDC, 1 billion Ghana cedi cash printing cover blown. And this is found in I think the page 3. It says printing should be done in smaller denominations, like in its desperate bid to hang on the power, the NDC purportedly various means aimed at winning the 2016 general election. It has emerged that in the heat of the campaign towards the general elections, the NDC government, led by the ex-president John Dramani Mahama, also succeeded in printing a whopping 1 billion Ghana cedis into the system, the NDC campaign. And when Frances Ewurabena Esiam is here, we would delve a bit into these issues. I remember at one of our discussions, we mentioned that some monies were being printed during the last elections, and we had a few people challenged that, and actually it has come to light that yes, some of the monies were printed into the time. I will look at the next paper whilst she gets mic'd and seated. Let me look at the daily graphic. It says Maslock retrieves 16 million Ghana cedis from debtors. Maslock retrieves 16 million Ghana cedis from debtors. And that's by the CEO of Maslock, Mr. Stephen Amoah. I really remember when he was making all this campaign and talks about retrieving debts and how the place has Welcome, Frances. Maslock retrieves 16 million Ghana cedis from debtors. Recalcitrant debtors of Maslock Microfinance and Small Loan Center have started redeeming their debt obligations to the center following threats by the center to publish their names in national newspapers. So far, Maslock has retrieved 16 million Ghana cedis out of the 100 million Ghana cedis owed it. I remember some of the names that are up were very, very prominent institutions and personalities. And actually, we will call Stika. Safo, try and get hold of Stika for today or probably Monday. Get Stika either on the phone if we can, or make an arrangement to get him in the studio for a solid 1 hour to tell us how he managed to do that. I had a conversation with him and he was telling me, "Yebeji, scanning the yebeji, na me can't be a scanner kudia." Masa, you know how Stika talks. I want Stika to come and explain to us the strategies and how he managed to do that. He's done a very good job by trying to get, I wish most of the CEOs will do the same and retrieve some of the monies. But then people will ask, what happened to the defaulters and how was this money given out? Perfect. I will touch on the next one whilst Frances gets ready to fire. We will look at the Ghanaian Times. And 41 perished during X months in 236 road accidents across the country. 41 perished during X months. Wow. I think compared to other years or years reports, this probably can be a better deal. I pray we get to zero someday, but for now, it is like we really are going down, not as fast as I expect, because we need a lot of education and sensitization going down, both on the side of pedestrians, drivers, and even passengers, because we all play a role. And sometimes the police, I have actually seen a policeman who was directing traffic and he was on his cell phone, and he had the cell phone in the police helmet, the cycling helmet. And so you cannot tell he's on the phone, but his attention is distracted. And he managed to get two roads coming together until I got closer and realized he was on the phone and not really paying attention to what he's doing. So I think the police also has a part to play. I would like to welcome Frances Ewurabena Esiam from the Ghana Gas Manufacturing Company. Sorry, I keep saying Ghana Gas. What did I say? Okay, so it's Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company. Frances, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you. Welcome to One on One. What traffic can go on a few now? Leleona. Oh, okay. I see.
So I have to rush to do a few things.
Oh, thank you for making the time.
Next week we'll make more time.
Yeah. And I hear you've started the production, and so you're...
No, it's continuous. We were selling throughout the holidays and producing.
Frances, how was your holidays?
Well, very quiet.
You didn't have any family time? Your kids came from school, and you didn't invite me for some chicken soup and rice.
I have only one kid.
Oh, okay.
It's like second. I'm talking of my last kid.
Oh, okay.
6 girls. But all of them in school.
Oh, okay.
With doctors and nurses and
Congratulations.
teachers.
Aren't you proud?
Yeah.
I see. Well, one day we'll get there. We'll have our kids and mention all that stuff. But yeah, let's go straight to the newspapers. And Daily Guide says, bombshell, NDC 1 billion Ghana cedis cover blown. NDC 1 billion. I remember the last time you were here, we touched on this issue, but it was not on TV. It was behind the scenes, and the governor has brought it out. I don't think it's just it has been uncovered that something like that. Let me give you a brief on it. It says, in its desperate bid to hang on to power, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, purportedly devised various means aimed at winning the 2016 general elections. It has emerged that in the heat of the campaign towards the general elections, the then NDC government led by the ex-President John Dramani Mahama almost succeeded in printing a whopping 1 billion Ghana cedis into the system to finance the NDC campaign. The deal involved printing of 50 Ghana cedis notes to the tune of 1 billion Ghana cedis. However, failed to go through at the 11th hour because the official printer of Ghana's currency in Europe, Crane, allegedly refused to get involved, citing criminalities. True.
Oh, well, I think this is a matter for investigation by such as Yoko, which looks at economic crimes, the Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police Service, and I think the Bank of Ghana, so that if there's complicity, it didn't go through. So money may not have materialized for what it was supposed to be used for. But looking at it, I mean...
But why now? That's the point. Why now?
That's why I'm saying that this thing should be investigated for us to have more room for analysis. So I would not like to touch on it.
Yeah. I see. Well, I've also heard Pio Gabra on other networks trying to declare his intentions, but we will touch on that. Whilst we do that, you are on the right path, Father Campbell tells Nana, and I think that is a big ups to His Excellency. And then I will read a few. It says, President Akufo-Addo has been advised to stay focused on delivering his promise and not be his critical, especially about the free senior high school policy. The advice was given by the parish priest of the Christ the King Catholic Church in Accra, Reverend Father Andrew Campbell, when he and members of the church council paid a courtesy call on the president at the Flagstaff House yesterday. As people in the providing support to several needy children to acquire formal education, the priest said, "We are well placed to assess the impact of such transformative policy on most families in Ghana and almost offer some comments." Francis, you are like a big fan and a very, very big fan of the free SHS thing. You cannot come on any show, especially this show, without signing off and not touching the free SHS.
You see,
what do you say about
I've always said that for the lack of knowledge, my people perish. Now, the free SHS program, I don't see why some people's hackles are up. They are debating nothing. They are just debating the future of Ghanaian children, posterity. Because why? Education is the key to economic development, social development, and overall sustainable development. If you have somebody who is uneducated, it's like being in the dark. Today we are in the cyber age. Technology is so advanced. When people are using robots and doing experiments in space for industries, we are sitting here with our covered gutters. People still use pan latrines in some areas, defecate in open space, attitudinal problems. But when someone is educated, no matter how minimal the level of education, you realize that there's an attitudinal change.
Francis, Mark Twain, one of my favorite scholars,
Absolutely.
said, education or schooling is not the same as education.
Absolutely. You see,
so when you free SHS, it's making SHS accessible to all who qualifies.
Yeah.
That I can say is schooling.
No,
education goes beyond schooling.
It is education. Education, you see, schooling, it's the mechanism through which you educate the people.
True.
Because schooling is actually the educational system, part of it.
Yes, part of it.
Teaching is part of it.
True.
Logistics are part of it. Financial resources are part of it. So education is a whole chain, a whole value chain. But you see, schooling is where you are teaching, schooling them as to attitude, as to social demands, as to the curricula, and so on and so forth. Education itself is what springs knowledge, what broadens the horizon. As we said, we're educating people.
True.
But it is not schooling.
True. That's what I was trying to
say. We are sensitizing them, conscientizing them.
That is another form of education.
That's saying that it's education. Knowledge is broad. Knowledge can be formal or informal. But be that as it may, when we talk of the free senior high secondary school, that is SHSS, the free, meaning those who are moving into a particular sector or stratum of the educational system have been relieved of
a certain burden,
a greater burden.
But Frances, we talked to a few people when this free SHS thing was enrolled, and the feedback we had from people, I personally wasn't happy, because the few I remember was one saying that he's been relieved of some 800 money off, and he feels that is his gift from the president or from the NPP government. Don't you think we have to go an extra mile to tell them that this monies that you are getting, you can set up a fund? Or don't you think the financial institutions can take advantage of this and call parents to say, okay, we are opening something like your free SHS relief fund, that you can be saving that money as if you're paying your fees, but yet paying towards your kids'
Okay, let's look at it this way. When you go to Britain, US,
yeah,
education has been free.
Yeah.
And the issue is, have you checked what parents do with their money?
No, I don't.
So for me, it's inconsequential. It is not significant. The significance lies in the child going to school. Some parts of the Southeast Asian countries, you are actually jailed if your child, and prosecuted, jailed when necessary, if your child doesn't go to school.
And it's at the school going
So
age.
we are heading towards a system where if the infrastructure, we're talking of our roads, we're talking of our, boarding facilities, we're talking of deboardingization. When the whole mix has settled down, I'm talking of in the near future, like medium term, these things we are talking about will be a thing of the past. Today is part of our system. Free education has always been there at certain levels.
Yes.
FQ from Kwame Nkrumah's time. But it's been given more vent during President Akufo-Addo's time. Every government has done something, no matter whether it is progressively, qualitatively, or quantitatively. Something has been done through scholarships, bursaries, for the needy. All these are part of the system.
Scholarship for the
all these are part of the system. But this is universal. Yeah. And when we say universal, you are implementing a policy today backed by the appropriate statutes and legislation. Mm-hmm. So why should somebody say Form 2 people, Form 3, and so on?
I think that's a bit irrelevant. That argument I'll say.
That's why I say these arguments are inconsequential. Because you start a journey of a mile with the first step.
Yes.
And we are giving vent by taking a certain quantum leap. Mm-hmm. It is not easy. It is one of the boldest, and I agree, Father Campbell.
And looking at the time that it was implemented. I agree,
because the time is now.
Yeah.
If you don't want an illiterate society, a society that defecates on beaches, a society that doesn't know that education is the key to national development. So as for President Akufo-Addo, I said, Nana, ayeko wandoshe ayeko Nana Addo wandoshe ayeko Nana wandoshe oka watching kemishe wandoshe ayeko. You see, these like the Gadgisburg, the Kwame Nkrumahs, the Buzias who brought rural development, the President Kufuor who accentuated pro-poor policies, like the LEAP, free, what do you call this, what all the women has all about, the school feeding, Metro Mass, and all the pro-poor social policies, especially the flagship of the National Health Insurance. Yeah. You would realize that, you see, this is what you call leadership, thinking outside the box. Yeah. So once Father Campbell says he's on the right path, if not Father Campbell, the whole world applauds Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. You see, he's a man of the moment. And Nana doesn't listen to ugly noises. I keep on saying this. The man is so determined and so focused. So as for the babies with sharp teeth, they are out of business.
I see.
And I'm talking of some of our press, not all, who were making a minefield and a gold field out of politicians. You realize it is coming down. Yeah. Because the president is not going to call somebody and let you come from London, like happened to the, what do you call it? The Muntie 3. I came from London because of.
Well, that is totally wrong.
No, what I'm saying, I'm not talking about even the right or wrong. But the man knows where the bread of Ghanaians are buttered. Yep. You see, so all we are saying is, we are given, not that we are just eulogizing the president, but when somebody is climbing a tree, look at the sort of policies and interventions. It will be a wonderful State of the Nation address. What did MPP say in our manifesto? It is our social contract with the people. There may be difficulties. We are not like other people who say things are on course, bringing out green books and what do you call it?
Chewing
certain matters right or whatever it is, and we've chewed the bone. No, when you're in government, you don't have room for excuses.
But hold on, Francis. Yeah. It's mostly been the case that political parties make a lot of campaigns, promises, and stuff. And yet, when they come into office, they give excuses. Yeah. This free SHS thing has been one of the few that has actually been done, and been done very, very timely compared to our like things that is happening in our political history. Don't you think that is why it's making a big wave?
No, it's making a big wave because, like the Bible says, my people are in darkness, and they have to be brought into the light. Understanding, you see, what we call knowledge brings about understanding. As for wisdom, we all have our different degrees, whether educated, schooled, or unschooled.
Yeah.
But knowledge is acquired.
Yep.
Knowledge is a process of socialization. Knowledge is a process of sensitization. And it is a policy that is planted today that will bring about the harvest tomorrow. And that's exactly what the president is doing. My brother, me and you may be gone.
True.
The full benefits of, look at a Ghana 20 years ahead. I was listening to, the foreign media, more on the audio. And I think the populations are now being looked at 20 years from now. What will the global population be? What sort of food will be needed? Can you imagine that already people are planning,
projecting, and
they may not be alive then? So all I'm saying is that when you are given the opportunity for national service, I'm not talking of NSS as it is, but totally,
render your service to the nation.
You're doing national service as well. Let us contribute our quota as patriotic Ghanaians. Let us contribute our quota to sustainability and prosperity, so that in future they will say, there was a generation which secured our future. And that is exactly what my president is doing. And you see, people don't realize that the president is multilingual internationally. Yeah. And it is a big asset, because when you go somewhere and they have to interpret French for you, even that time does not bring that bonding.
That's true.
But look, the way Nana meets for Tara, walks off the plane, the camaraderie, the patting on the back. My brother, the man is international. And so all I'm saying is that he knows what it takes to move this country forward. So don't let us listen to the ugly noises. And this year, by June, July, some people will be sweating, because all those propaganda things, insulting,
we don't have space.
People have lost an election by insults, garbage language, gutter politics, and they're still not learning. Anytime they meet, former President Mahama will just say something. But we are saying that, we are not going to be distracted. I will not respond to their propaganda, because they're lost in the wilderness. And it's going to take a certain Moses to bring the NDC from the wilderness to the promised land. So as for Canaan, and the Canaan is what we are in now. You see, oh Canaan, what do you see there? Oh Canaan, do, oh menya, eya utomayo, oh menya, oh ya ujemayo, oh ya demiti ye peke na yako. So Nana has crossed the Jordan. Baumia has crossed the Jordan. The NPP has crossed the Jordan. We are in the promised land. You see, this is a beginning of the beginning. Kwame Nkrumah did his bit. Dr. Buzi, everybody, including the military rulers, you noticed there was something. But in the past 8 years, it was propaganda, sing-song, what do you call it? Rappers. But you realize, my brother, that when you are given the opportunity to serve, no matter what it is, now there's a certain sense in Ghana. It's like, it is not, we are not yet out of the woods. Hardships are there. We are not the politicians to tell you that Ghana, no country, even America, is not heaven. But do you know something? You see, we have a certain sense of equanimity. There is some peace within us as we enter the new year. as I stood in church, like a second to midnight, victory prayer, Papa Sofo, the few minutes before midnight and after, the sermon, the songs, and I felt at peace. I said, yes, this is what we want in Ghana, this country. And the good Lord will listen. Coming on to substitute. Prosecutor's office, SPU, is in. So all the negative comments, I heard, is it Ransford Jampo of the political science department, my former department in Legon?
Ransford Jampo taught me in Legon, though.
Oh, of course, I think when I was there, he was a T. Because I went there as a mature student.
Oh, okay.
After 4 kids,
I see.
So I heard Ransford, let me tell you one lesson as a professional. If people did not have going, spaceships crashed, NASA had its own. They're experimenting in space. So whether assent of the Attorney General must be sought or not, the bill says the Attorney General will have to, agree, give consent.
Yeah.
That is the law. Sought or not, the bill says the Attorney General will have to, agree, give consent.
Yeah.
That is at Article 8 of the 1990 the supreme law of the land, and no law must be inconsistent. Go into our constitution. Thereby, you should know that men downwards. That is the supreme law of the land. Any law inconsistent to the constitution is.
Yes.
Thereby, I've looked at some have been, including the president, have sat and looked at it.
Yes.
Concerns that Martin Amidu. Good morning, vigilante. Have taken on board to water down some of the earlier positions and to strengthen the law. Issue at stake is this: the Attorney General in 1992 has been given the sole prosecutorial powers.
Yeah, that's what I was going
and
to say.
So therefore, the special prosecutor cannot be on it. The independent prosecutor cannot be on its own, or that office cannot be. I don't know whether it's a female or a male. So that cannot be on its own without necessarily the linkage from the Attorney General, who has the sole prosecutorial mandate in this country. Not even the Chief Justice can prosecute. They adjudicate.
Yeah.
So you must know that as a professional, for example, you just don't jump up on radio and send the wrong signals. You must do your research and look into it. All law emanates from literature. All law emanates from political science, because that is where the what you call the system of society is set. So I expect you to know better. But some professionals just come and size want to be here. Because see, we are building the nation. We don't need the instructions. Freedom of speech under the same code, but steady. So how could without the Attorney General? If you go to Supreme Court for interpretation, somebody would you see, it's a mirror of society.
Yes.
By implication, these are not the exact words verbatim, but by implication, it is a mirror of society. It is dynamic. It always conquers new horizons.
Yeah.
Even though law is not ambiguous, it has clarity. It brings finality, but it develops. That's why we are calling some laws anachronistic. So today, Ransford Jampo and Co. et al., we want you to know that the special prosecutor is in. No matter the noises, like the SHS, we will improve as we go along. there is a parliament.
There's always a starting point,
you
I
see,
believe.
The constitution has its fixed, entrenched provisions. And Article 88 is entrenched. To remove it, you have to do it like the way we are creating the regions.
Process.
So as we move on, we'll look at the conduct of and candor of the special prosecutor, the temerity of character, the tenacity of character, the strength of whoever is put there. Civil society will be very, very active. No bribology, no corruptology, no whimsical capricious. Yeah, those are my terms. So that we understand that this is where even the president cannot and will not be allowed to interfere. No politician, whether MPP or any other political party, you will not.
Is this not going to put fear in?
It should put fear in the populace. For the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the special prosecutor's office. It is not an office to come and twiddle and doodle with us. It doesn't deal with kids' gloves. It's not going to be where the nurses will move in before you know somebody is corrupt.
Yeah.
I say, as for this one, Philip Adochi.
Do you want to agree with those who are saying during the process it should be telecast live?
Oh, Master, what that camera live, we are looking of what would come out of it. So when we see the initial beginnings, we give it a honeymoon period of 3 months, watch how things are going. If, for instance, I'm MPP, and I've been caught in the web, right? And we notice that because there's a government in power, which is our government, things are being massaged. Yeah. Hey, the demonstrations will flow because we brought the NDC down on the altar of corruption. Take it or leave it. So don't shout in 2020, Nana you go. What do you call this? MP for Ningo Pram Pram, George Nyate and Co. Singing rabble rouse in parliament. If they don't take care of their seats, George Madamo, one man when you're saying a pram pram. Piano dang me, one head door, cabin one says a wa, one ma chuni saminian, one ma quality. So as for the road, I want, hey, Father Campbell, you're on course. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa-Akufo-Addo, the Prime Minister of Paris, the President of the Fourth Republic of Ghana, the fifth, is it the sixth Parliament? Yeah. Sixth Parliament of the Fourth Republic of Ghana. Ya mawa yeko, ya wa mamo, woni wa pafo, Vice President, ya First and Second Lady sir, mo hua wo mo pia unse suit ye suit. A suit a juma. Of course, Patakaria dia juma. Hey, there be obi sheni yire coat to kojina German chancellor. It was the talk of the world. And the American say, Nana nimede. Nana ba so be ye juma. It's yenya butre. Chrono ne die enu na nwini omani sika. You see, financial malfeasance and hemorrhage is what we do not need. So all we are saying is that as we have entered the new year, peace be unto all of us in Ghana. We wish longevity, good health for our president, our vice president, and all that are in government. Those in opposition, we wish you a very happy new year, constructive criticism. When you bash, we will not insult, but I'll put you on the right path. Professionals must do research and look at our constitution before coming up. But next week, producer, the teaser is this. Next week, we will go into the Ghana Law School issues. And I hope we'll make at least 10 minutes because I'm also an advocate. We cannot be writing exams. We cannot go to law school. They say law faculty and be deceived. What are we when we finish? If you have your LLB, what are you? So this is another test for the Supreme Court. Give leadership one undergraduate political levels. Who are you? So her leadership. So finally, her leadership don't do it going to law school. Don't, please, the for the year. Every program.
going to law school. Don't for the year. Every program. Good morning to all.
Very good morning. That was from Francis.
And let us hold ourselves in check. If we falter, special prosecutor is waiting for all of us.
Is it to
and
all?
Good morning.
We will bring the program to an end for today. Still in the manufacturing company. She came in a bit late, but as always, she will never leave a stone unturned. We will bring it over to Amofa at the our guests will show up on time. We're just at a disadvantage due to traffic at Medina, and so we'll call it the day whilst we hand over to with his panelists. Enjoy your day. My name once again is Jonas Abidi, and this is One on One Live.